pushing, but of course naturally when you're under DRS it's a bit easier to charge. So yeah, the last few laps are a lot of fun.
Aussie Daniel Ricciardo was 11th, and England's Matt Fitzpatrick has won the US Golf Open in Boston. He finished at 6 under. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Plimpton, burst water main, that's Cross Road near Anzac Highway down to 40 outbound. Pasadena, burst water main, 5 Ash Drive near Quinlan Street, that's heading inbound. In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Decataville Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. And Darlington changed traffic conditions with new asphalt going down on South Road near Marion Road, speeds at 40. Busy right now, South Road at Karata Park, and we've got a camera Grange Road at Grange. The Telstra end of financial year sale is on now with great deals on the latest Samsung Galaxy devices. Sale ends June 30. Redemption criteria and conditions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Looking for huge savings on tiles, hybrid flooring and bathroom wear? Choose Beaumont's now and save.
Showers this afternoon 15, a shower or two tomorrow 16, and Wednesday a shower or two, a top of 17. Right now it's 12 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Why a notorious SA killer looks set to walk free despite breaching parole. Thieves ransack one of our best-known charities. Hoons rip up another popular reserve in Adelaide's north. The reaction to the controversial international ruling on transgender swimmers. And the phone scam catching out South Australians with a fake COVID scare. I'm Brenton Braglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. Make this end of financial year a safe one at Bob Jane T-Marts. Buy 3 tyres, get 1 free and get up to $100 instant cash back on these top brands such as Bridgestone, Goodyear, Yokohama, Michelin, Dunlop and the Bob Jane All-Rounder. Buy any 4 Monster wheels and off-road tyres and enter to win a fantastic OzTrack camper trailer. At Bob Jane T-Marts, we'll look after you.
T's and C's apply. SA permit number T22367.
Car buyers don't expect to find a prestige vehicle at a backyard dealership. The same goes for real estate.
Toop and Toop's Bronte Manual explains why it's so important to choose the right real estate agency.
Whether you're selling homes or cars, the reputation of the business brokering the deal has a big impact on the final selling price. If you want a premium service and a premium result, you need to work with a premium agency.
Adelaide is currently experiencing strong selling conditions. Is it fair to say any agency could sell your property?
Sure, demand is still outweighing supply in Adelaide, creating a lot of buyer competition. But our expertise has been critical in achieving record sales in Toorak Gardens, Colonel Light Gardens and Woodville Park in recent weeks.
If you'd like to find out if your home could be the next record breaker, Toop and Toop have a proven record of setting new standards.
We've been helping Adelaide buyers and sellers for almost 40 years. That's why so many South Australians look to us for real estate advice.
Go to toop.com.au to find out more.
The best way to see SA is through the dusty windscreen of your four-wheel drive, but if you want to get there, you want to be TJM equipped. TJM has kept South Australian wheels turning off-road since 1990. There isn't an accessory they haven't thought of for safety, comfort and enjoyment with bull bars, suspension, snorkels, camping gear, roof racks, driving lights and more. Get into TJM before you get out in Nailsworth and Clovelly Park, tjmsa.com.au.
Get ready for the Zara Foundation's Not a Lottery, where you could win
nothing. No home, no cash, no car. But your donation will help someone who's escaped domestic violence, often with no home, no cash and no car, by providing life-changing financial counselling and personal support. Visit notalottery.com and make a donation today for your chance to build a brighter future for someone making a fresh start. Terms and conditions apply. Visit notalottery.com for more information.
I'm Catherine Crease from Owens Casterly Real Estate. It's the premium quality touches that get offers rolling in. Plantation shutters add a special timeless style. As a decorator touch that's easy to live with and improves the value of your home, Plantation shutters are an attractive investment.
Improve, invest and add value with quality Plantation shutters by Country. Visit countryblinds.com.au for a free measure and quote.
Everybody loves their country.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Welcome back to Afternoons. It is 9 minutes past 3 o'clock and it is that time of the week where we talk about our furry friends with Dr. Derek McNair.
Pet Talk Back with Dr. Derek McNair.
Jolly good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
You keeping warm?
Trying to. I was driving in and I'm thinking, oh, this reminds me of Glasgow, like 11 months of the year. Just that nice sort of drizzly rain that comes down that soaks you.
Do you miss it?
A little bit, some of it.
Yeah.
Some of the pubs I miss, and some of
Now you're talking.
some of my friends I miss. Yes, but no, I wouldn't go back. When I'm looking at this weather and I'm thinking, yep, that's what reminds me of it.
Yeah, 11 months of the year. No thanks. No thanks.
No. We're very spoiled here, actually.
Now, I want to ask you a little bit of a sad story coming out of the RSPCA today.
Yes. I saw this morning and it's terribly sad. Actually, I mean, it looks like it's going to have a happy ending. Somebody who doesn't deserve mentioning at all just dumped 2 cats and a kitten outside the RSPCA I think it was last Friday night, which was, as everyone will remember, a very cold night. And it was only because somebody was working late that they actually saw the cage there. And, had they not seen the cage there, there's a high possibility that they'd have died of hypothermia overnight. So, please, 2 things. One is, please don't get pets unless you can afford them. Sadly, like children, they come with expenses, they need care, they need to be fed, they sometimes have to have vet bills. So if you can't afford a dog or a cat, maybe get a rabbit, or a lot of people, including one of my nurses, has pet rats, which she absolutely loves.
Oh, that's good for her.
Yeah, and rats, actually, everyone goes, ew, but they have personalities. They're actually quite fun, some of them.
I'll take your word for it.
I've never had any myself, but I have seen them and I have treated them. So, but, if you have a pet and your circumstances change, take them into the RSPCA or Animal Welfare League, or
during business hours.
Don't dump them outside.
Yeah.
At night time. You're not going to, for surrendering them, you're not going to be made to feel guilty. You're not going to be made to feel awful. And at least you're doing the right thing. Leaving them outside. Fortunately, somebody saw them, so once they
Timmins, who's
come
the
back
shelter animal care manager, he said, I was working late last Friday and left the shelter at around 9:15. Something caught my eye as I drove past the main gate, so I turned back to check and I found 2 young cats and a kitten in a filthy carrier that had no cover over it and no blanket, food or water inside. If not found until the morning, they could easily have died. So good on Stuart. Thank goodness he just something caught his eye and he's gone to save them, because abandoning an animal is actually an offence under South Australia's Animal Welfare Act. And if anyone is found guilty, it faces up to 2 years imprisonment or a $20,000 fine. That's very, very serious, very negligent.
It is serious. I mean, yes.
But like you said, I mean, if you can't, and we all know the cost of living is going up and a lot of people have to make choices at the moment, and that is awful. And, if you can't and you do find yourself in this situation, the RSPCA, they won't tell you off. They won't yell at you. They'll be very grateful that you've actually done it the right way. And you never know, that your pet may find itself another beautiful home.
Yeah, well, Bessie, a dog we had who lived to 19, she was the same thing. She was dumped outside the RSPCA at Lonsdale, and the person didn't even take them in when she was a puppy. So, and we got her, and she was lovely and wonderful. So, but there was a chance she could have run away, which she didn't, fortunately. So, please do the right thing.
Let's talk to Ian. Hi, Ian.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hi. No, I was in my car, but my car's just turned off, so I picked up the phone. So,
you're all right.
Yeah. Dr. Derek, you have something to do with the Greyhound Association, don't you?
Well, I've covered. No, I'm not a patron actually. No,
right.
No, I've covered a couple of stories on a television show I'm involved with, and we certainly see see a lot of greyhounds from the GAP programme at our clinic.
Yeah, that's right. No, I got mine through the GAP program. And I just wanted to relay a story that they are a fantastic pet, as you keep saying.
Yes.
I had a fall the other day in the bedroom. I tripped over stuff lying around that I shouldn't have lying around. I fell on the floor pretty hard.
Mm.
The dog was on the bed, and he jumped down and he started licking my face and jumping all over me. And I couldn't get up because he was all over me.
Oh.
And then he got back up on the bed and started barking. And you hear all these other stories about dogs getting upset when their owners and masters are either injured or dead or whatever. And I can now safely say, happily, that I've experienced it.
Oh, wow, that warms your heart.
And there's so many...
it does.
Yes, I was actually talking this morning. Thank you, Ian, because you're right. It's such a common thing. And I was talking to a client of mine, Margaret, this morning, about this very thing. And she was saying how a friend of hers wasn't well, and the dog started acting differently and went up and started licking their face and stuff like that. And they thought maybe there's something wrong, and went to the doctors and found out that they weren't well. And there's so many. I mean, we got into the thing, and maybe we should get the COVID people on, because you know, dogs can sniff out cancers. They can tell when your blood pressure drops, and they can certainly tell when you're sad. You know,
they don't leave your side, do they?
No, I mean, they're just...
No.
How are you now, Ian? Are you okay after your fall?
Oh, yeah. I only bruised an elbow and bruised a knee, so, yeah, I was fine.
Good.
But it's just the reaction of the dog that really blew me away.
Yes.
So, Ian, after he jumped off you, were you able to get up and then, give him a big hug and he stopped his howling and barking?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He got a big cuddle and he got a lolly straight away. I call him Lolly, a dog biscuit.
Yes.
So you want a lolly? And he throws his tail.
After that, he can have a whole packet. That's so cute.
I love that.
And greyhounds, and everyone thinks because, some of them are trained to run, that they enjoy running, and they do enjoy running, but I tell you what, I bet your dog enjoys just lying in your bed all day.
Oh, he does.
Yes. They're the biggest couch potatoes.
Yeah. This blows my mind, because when I see them, I think, oh my golly, you would be a nightmare because you'd have to run them every day. But it's quite the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah, only 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, and I thought the same when I first got him. I thought, what will I think of him? Will he be all right? But they're just a simple old dog. They're fantastic pets.
What's his name?
Rusty.
Rusty. Gorgeous Rusty. Well, thanks, Ian. Appreciate you calling in. That's a beautiful
it's lovely.
story.
After our first story, we need good stories now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's talk to Naomi now. Hi, Naomi.
Hello.
Hello. We'd love having you on the show. What would you like to talk to Dr. Derek about?
Yes, we have a 7-month-old black Labrador puppy called Luna, and we've had lots of golden retrievers before, and we have a 5-year-old golden retriever, but Luna likes to eat her own poop and Ollie's poop, and I'm wondering, should I be concerned, or how do I stop her doing that?
No, well... It's not attractive. Should you be concerned? Well, it's just not nice to see, is it? So, no is the short answer. A lot of dogs do it. Yuckily, a lot of dogs, they've done studies on it, just seem to enjoy doing it because it's sort of food for them. They're a bit strange. It's not... It's not that they're deficient in anything. I mean, you could give multivitamins, you could give probiotics. It's highly unlikely to make any difference. The thing that I find most successful, but it still only has about a 50% success rate, is adding pineapple into their diet.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of cubes of pineapple each day into both of your dogs' diets, since Luna's going for both of your dogs, then yes, and a little bit of crossing your fingers as well, and you read all these other things in there that people go out and put chili on them and stuff like that, but that doesn't, from my experience, that doesn't work. The pineapple is your best bet, Naomi, and I do hope it works. I mean, if you want to, you can try, as I say, the multivitamins and probiotics, but generally that is not going to help because that's not the problem. It's just a bit of a yucky behavioural thing.
Okay, it might be a silly question, but wouldn't their breath be don't really want to bleh, just gross?
Yes, and we should move on to the next question before you keep adding. Yes, their breath does tend to smell a little bit afterwards. So
I could imagine
you can get sort of breath freshening things from dogs.
All around, that's just gross. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back soon.
Incontinence affects 1 in 10 men in Australia of all ages. That's about 5,300 blokes at the footy when Adelaide Oval is full. This may stop some men from getting out and enjoying life as they can't dispose of their incontinence products. That's why this World Continence Week, Continence Foundation of Australia is advocating for incontinence disposal bins to be installed in male public toilets across Australia. Go to binsforblokes.org.au to pledge your support. Bins for Blokes, an initiative of Continence Foundation of Australia.
What is small business? It's your local, people you know, a struggle, a smile, a few less smiles over the last few years. Small business needs you, and we all need small business. It's your morning coffee, a long lunch, that perfect gift. Small business is community. It supports workers, suppliers, families right across South Australia. Small business has a big heart, so go out and support small business. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Our pets can be such a support, and to some of us, they really are part of the family. So show them you care and head into your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. They keep you warm with cuddles all winter, so return the favour with a knitted dog hoodie from just $15. George has got a nice cable knit red one that he absolutely loves. Or a quilted pet jacket that's water resistant from $21. Perfect for winter walks. Call into your nearest Cheapest Chips and grab a faux fur, a faux leather pet bed for a cosy night's sleep for just $25. There's loads of great deals on accessories and treats like Aussie natural treats for your dog to snack on for just $7.99 each. And 4 tins of Dine for $5. That'll have your cats purring. So get into your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. Even pets live cheaper every day at Cheapest Chips.
Looking for huge savings on tiles, taps, vanities, even the loo? Look no further than Beaumont's. With so much on sale, you'll save a fortune on tiles, bathroomware, hybrid flooring, and yeah, even the loo. With so much on sale, you'll be happy you chose Beaumont's.
Sadly, insolvency is all too common these days, but there is another way. Through the new Small Business Restructure Initiative, Oracle Insolvency Services has helped people to keep control of their business, restructure their finances, and avoid insolvency for a stress-free future. If, like many South Aussies, you're worried about your financial future, call Oracle Insolvency Services on 1300 391 330. Oracle Insolvency Services, working to solve insolvency.
I'm Travis Denham from Again Real Estate. It's often just one special feature that helps spark interest in a home. Outdoor blinds used to create entertaining areas really set a home apart. They add extra appeal to patios and alfresco areas, an investment that adds value for sure.
Improve, invest and add value with quality outdoor blinds by Country. Visit countryblinds.com.au for a free measure and quote.
Everybody loves their country.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Pet Talkback with Dr. Derek McNair. It is 25 minutes past 3 o'clock, so if you've got a question for Dr. Derek, he's only here till 3:30, so ring in quickly. 8223 0000 is the number. Carol joins us. Hi, Carol.
Hello, how are you?
Very good.
I do have a question about my beautiful Border Collie.
Yes.
She is constantly scratching. I've tried a lot of things, including Zyrtec, you know, the antihistamine tablets. And
yes.
I've got some other tablets from a vet that were stronger and they didn't agree with her.
Mm-hmm.
But she's constantly itching and she's losing a bit of hair.
Okay. Did your vet work out why she was constantly itching?
I didn't get her to the vet. I'm taking her tomorrow, but my friend just phoned me and said you're on the line, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'll ring Dr. Derek. because I've been meaning to ring you, for a couple of weeks. She's had this about 8 weeks, and she's not getting lumps of hair falling out. It's just 1/3 of her coat, I think, has been shedding because she's constantly scratching.
Okay. Two questions, if I may. How old is she, and whereabouts is she scratching?
She's scratching mainly on her hind legs, also on her back, and just at the very base at the beginning where her tail is.
Okay, and how old is she?
She'll be 8 next month.
Okay. Have you looked at her for fleas?
Yes, I've looked at her for fleas. I've washed her in pure oatmeal shampoo. I've also used that No More Itch, like a betadine, dabbling on it with warm water.
Yes, yep. Yeah,
I've used the Surtec morning and night, and it's like 6 or 7 weeks now, and I'm just getting really worried.
Okay. I think there's two issues here. One is what is causing the itch, and the other is obviously treating it. When they're itchy at the base of the tail, you do think of fleas. There's not many fleas around now because they're like us, they don't like the cold weather. But the classical place that dogs with flea bite allergy are itchy is the base of... Do you have any other pets, Carol? Any other dogs or cats?
Yeah, I have a cat.
Okay, it'd be worthwhile standing your cat on a white piece of paper and ruffling up its coat and seeing if little black specks fall off, and if they do, just wet them and see if they stain red. Because if this often happens that the cat has fleas and the occasional flea jumps onto the dog, bites the dog, and then jumps back onto the cat again. And it only takes, in sensitive dogs, only takes one flea and one bite to cause really bad itching because they're actually allergic to a protein in the flea saliva. Your cat might have a lot of fleas but is not allergic to fleas, and so it doesn't itch. It just happily keeps the fleas happy on the cat. So that is, I'm glad you're taking your dog to the vet to have a look and to see, maybe take your cat as well so the vet can check your cat for fleas. Depending what the cause is, depends what you do. Obviously, if it's fleas, you need to treat the cause and get rid of the fleas. For the itch, if you've had tablets, Zyrtec antihistamines sometimes work in dogs, but they have a different allergic system to us, and histamines don't play quite as much of a part. So antihistamines tend not to work as well in dogs as they do in people, but they sometimes work. But obviously in the case of your dog, that hasn't happened. So you might need something. A really good thing if your dog gets a bit of allergy, if you like, to tablets, is there's an injection called Cytopoint, which is super safe and super wonderful. And sadly, the company are not paying me to plug this, but it's just a very good product.
Could I just get you to spell that? I'll write it down if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, let me just... Yes, so how do you spell it, sorry?
C-Y-T-O.
C-Y-T-O, Cyto...
And then point, as if you're pointing at something.
Cytopoint injection.
Yes. Yep.
And is it just the one usually the way to go?
One injection will last for a month. Occasionally it lasts longer. But it's not curing the problem. It just takes the itch away. It interferes with the pathway to the brain, so the brain doesn't detect itches and stuff like that. So... But you obviously...
Still got to get rid of the scratching, so it'll have to be a medication.
Yes, you've got to get rid of the scratching, but then you've also got to find out what the cause is and hopefully be able to get rid of that as well.
And you don't think it's to do with food at all, like chicken, how they have allergies to chicken and that doesn't do this?
It can be. It would only be a possibility if you change your dog onto chicken and they've never had it before, and you started giving your dog that just before it started itching. Classically, though, food allergies affect them from the shoulders forward.
Let's talk to Neil. Good luck with everything, Carol. Hi, Neil. How are you going?
Good. Going well.
Great. What would you like to talk to Dr. Derek about today?
I've got the little Kelpie. She's miniature. She gets sad when people go up too close to her.
Okay.
And when she has food, she barks at people.
Okay. How old is she? Sorry?
She's 4 years old.
Has she done this all of her life, or has this just started recently?
Since we got her from Strucker's Love. She's a rescue dog.
Okay. Okay, so that it's not an uncommon thing with rescue dogs, because sometimes you don't know their history, and if they've had sort of a bad experience maybe with people before. A couple of things. If she loves treats, then you get people to stand, say, 50 metres away, and she doesn't bark at them, so you actually give her treats and reward her for not barking, and then you basically get them to slowly come closer and closer and still reward her. You do it over a period of weeks. It's not something you can do overnight. You may want to get her what's called an adaptable collar, which can help with anxiety as well. With a lot of things, you're probably better going to like obedience classes as well, because a lot of the instructors at obedience classes are really well trained in these sort of behavioural things as well. So there's a few things, we probably don't have enough time to go into them all, but really sort of desensitising her to the anxiety that she's having, and it's an anxiety thing. She might need even stronger medication for that, but also probably more in-depth training, I think.
Thank you so much for calling in, and maybe that's something we can talk about a bit more in depth maybe next week.
Yeah, it's a super common problem,
Yeah.
and anxiety is a big thing in the dog world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Derek. And if somebody wants to get in contact with you, where can they find you?
On the parade at Norwood, and the phone number is 8363 5323.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. The federal government believes Australia is through the worst of the energy crisis, but the electricity system is still under pressure. Australia will provide $50 million in food and healthcare needs to Sri Lanka as the country faces its worst economic crisis in 70 years. An additional 1,500 stab-proof vests are being rolled out to SA frontline police, and Max Verstappen has won the Canadian Formula One Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo was 11th. Showers this afternoon, 15. Currently it's 12 degrees. More news at 4 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
Personal alert systems are essential for our seniors. These can be lifesavers, so you need to make sure you pick a tried and tested system that you know will work in an emergency. Here's industry expert from Care Alert, Darren. Now, Darren, why are personal alert systems so important?
Yeah, thanks, Rowey. Look, there's a lot of products available to our elderly for items that can help them as they age. Things like handrails and walking aids, and these are all great. But if a sudden accident occurs, like a fall or an illness, the only device that can get help is a personal alert system.
Care Alert's been around since 2005. You're the leaders in this space. Tell us about your personal alert systems.
Care Alert can provide emergency assistance whether you're at home or even if you're travelling, with options of 24/7 monitoring, GPS tracking, fall detection and much more.
Thanks, Darren. Protect your loved ones today with Care Alert Smart Dialer. Go to carealert.com.au or call 1300 75 85 95.
Once a year, there's a word you can read but can't quite pronounce.
EFI?
E-offie? EFI? It's EOFI. And this end of financial year, it's easier to just say eBay. eBay is bringing excitement to your EOFI with all the best deals in one place. There's millions of items on sale, and eBay Plus members save even more. Visit ebay.com.au to shop eBay's end of financial year sale today. T's and C's apply.
If you've been in a car accident and it's not your fault, you've got rights.
I didn't know that.
Yes, you have a legal right to a car similar to the one you were driving. Just call Right to Drive right where you are. They'll arrange an accident loan card to be delivered to your door. It'll keep you on the road until your car's ready to be picked up from the repairers. And it's at no cost to you.
I didn't know that either.
So if you've had an accident with another car that's not your fault, remember righttodrive.com.au. Conditions apply.
Guys, how long does silence have to last before it's awkward? This long? How about this? Ask a female colleague, because for Australian women, harassment and casual misogyny in the workplace is still being met with silence, leaving them feeling uncomfortable and unsupported. Find your voice by searching bethechange.com.au.
Let Phil Hoffman Travel connect you with the locals and bring your holiday destination to life. Experience Europe and Britain in comfort and style with a guided holiday and save 10% on European holidays in 2022. Plus receive $200 air credit exclusive to Phil Hoffman Travel. From the iconic to the unexpected, there's something incredible waiting for you. Make your dream European holiday a reality with Phil Hoffman Travel. Limited time only. Visit pht.com.au.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Lights, models, guest list. Just do your best, darling.
Well, TV's Night of Nights, the Logies, was held last night on the Gold Coast. No doubt a few sore heads this morning.
A bit tired, so yeah, Barocca, food, hamburgers, because I don't have to fit into that small dress that I wore.
A drink of water. That's what I'm hoping to get out of this function.
Tired but wired, my preferred state. But yeah, I need a coffee.
Oh, I reckon a big sleep, a Barocca and a good strong coffee, a few of them would have needed. My personal favourite moment, though, was when Bruce McAvaney was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So well deserved. But with all the goss from the night, we're joined by the Herald Sun's entertainment reporter, Fiona Byrne. Great to have you on the show, Fiona. How are you?
Jade, I'm fantastic, and I have to say I am not one of the people with a sore head today. I took it very easy. I was very cautious of not going too hard, too fast.
Good girl. What was it like? Up on the Gold Coast, we haven't seen the Logies for the past 2 years. Was everybody pumped?
Absolutely. It was a wonderful, wonderful feeling up here. The event was held at the Gold Coast Convention Centre, which is just a 5-minute stroll from the Star complex here on the Gold Coast. It actually was a really good location because it was slightly bigger than the room that the event's been held in recent years at the Star. So it just meant there were more people in the room. The red carpet was an absolute hush, I have to say. It was quite crazy, quite chaotic. But overall, everyone just felt very enthused about being part of a big TV event again. And I think the other thing that was lovely is so many people were able to actually catch up with colleagues, former castmates, just great friends that they had not been able to see over the past 2 years for various reasons related to the pandemic and the lockdowns that we've all endured in different ways and forms depending on which state you were in. So there was a huge sense of celebration, actually, with the whole event this year.
Well, was it popular for the people? Because I know, TV industry, huge night, it's like the big Christmas party that everyone's invited to. But did it resonate with the public? What did ratings tell us today?
Yes, so I will give you the overnight metro figures for the 5 capital cities. So the show had 885,000 overnight metro viewers, which is 6% up on the broadcast from 2019. The show was shown on Channel 9. So that is actually a very sufficient number. And the red carpet arrival show, which aired directly before the actual awards ceremony, it had 826,000 overnight metro viewers. So those numbers will creep up a little bit over the next 7 days when we get that 7-day consolidated figure. But on face value, they're good numbers. If you put in the regional numbers from overnight, the overnight regional numbers into that figure, it takes it up to, I think it's like just under 1.2 million viewers had a look at the show, the awards show last night. And the good thing is those numbers were still strong towards the back end of the show. The show actually finished at 11:30, around 11 o'clock or a bit after 11 o'clock. So it was a long show and the numbers were still strong and high at that time of night. So it meant that people were coming back or tuning in or staying with the broadcast to actually see who did win gold.
That's pretty good. That's solid numbers. They'd be happy with that. But let's talk about some of the more memorable moments, kicking off with Patty Nugent, the wife of Bert. Her speech was beautiful, wasn't it? We'll take a little listen to what she had to say.
Isn't he fabulous? I mean, what am I going to do without him? I actually didn't think that I was going to be able to do this tonight because it's still very raw and I'll never get over him. But I know that he's with me and he's inside me. My daughter had this Bert made for me, so I'll be wearing it forever. So I've always got him around my neck, so I'll know who I am. And when I can't, remember anymore, I'll say, "Who's that?" No.
Fiona, she just captured the room, didn't she?
To me, Patty making her speech, recalling the wonderful life that she lived with her husband Bert for 57 years and his incredible career, and letting the room and all the viewers know just how much it meant to her and to her family. The fact that the most popular presenter award had been renamed as the Bert Newton Most Popular Presenter Award. That, to me, was the emotional high point of the evening. The entire audience was there to support Patty and to really just will her to get through what was a very emotional presentation on her behalf, and it was lovely that she received a standing ovation when she came on stage. She had been very nervous in the lead up to last night. She had been very nervous because, and she had said this to me prior to the evening, for her, the Logies stage was always Bert's domain. That was where he was most at home, and that was his world and not her world. Her world was always supporting him and being in the audience, watching him on stage, and for her to then have to step into what she had seen for so many years as his role to make that presentation last night was quite emotional and something that she really had to put a lot of effort into.
Oh, it was so eloquent and heartfelt, and it was beautiful. She did an amazing job. And our very own Bruce, such a bloody legend, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is a bit of his speech.
I wondered how I'd feel tonight when I walked up here. I feel a lot of love, actually, and a lot of warmth, so thank you very much. I really do. How do you respond publicly to something that I've just seen? I've watched people that I admire, I've known for decades, talk about me. I do feel like I've left this world for another. Eddie and I, we go way back, as you saw. He was the Broadmeadows Colt. He had a head full of steam and nothing was going to stop him. I've given Rob a lot of material to work with over the years. Hopefully not tonight. And Dennis and I started as colleagues and we ended up as friends. Can you ask for any more than that? And that AFL Grand Final that we called his last, when the Bulldogs broke the drought and defeated the Swans, remains my favourite memory as a football caller.
Oh, Fiona, he's special.
He sure is, Jade. And, really, Bruce was a most worthy inductee into the Hall of Fame because he has been the voice of Australian sport for so many viewers over the years. And he was, as you could hear, genuinely humbled by that honour. And again, the room really did feel that it was the right moment for him to be acknowledged for his long service to the industry of sport and televised sport. It was really terrific.
I've been blessed to have worked with him on several big broadcasts, whether it be, Olympics or, the racing or the AFL or the tennis. And, backstage you'd have to be on about 2-3 hours before the event would start, and he'd walk in and he'd have his notes and he'd walk into a room and know every single person's name, from associate producer to the runner to the on-air talent. Didn't discriminate against anyone. Everyone's equal. Everyone he would spend equal amount of time with. He was a teacher. And I say it past tense because I'm no longer working at Channel 7. I know he is, but I was so lucky to have worked with him. He's just the most incredible, beautiful human.
And I think one of the things I think everyone who's had anything to do with Bruce takes away from that experience is the value of preparation.
Oh, yeah.
The most prepared person in any room for any event, whether it is an interview or a broadcast or hosting a live function, is Bruce McAvaney. He just is the most prepared person with so much background knowledge and so much information that is sourced on the individual, as I said, the event. And it's a very, I just think, as someone in the media, it's something that we should all learn from and take with us, that there is huge value in preparation. It just pays off.
Oh, my golly. The the filing system that would be in his brain, holy smokes, it would be the biggest, longest, most well-prepared, because you're spot on. It is one thing that you walk away and you go, he has prepared himself for any twist and turn that could possibly happen for this day. Unbelievable. Hamish Blake, a deserved winner. I think he's hilarious. He was always the short prize favourite to win, wasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And this is the Gold Logie, which is for the most popular personality on Australian television. And it's very difficult to argue with Hamish's success because everybody loves Hamish. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if we're doing a conversation on radio or if it's a story that I'm writing for print or for online. If I ask that question, if I put that out to the audience, who is your most popular presenter or who's your favourite television personality, it's always Hamish. At the moment, he really is the person that everybody's interested in. People, whether they're young or old, love him, and he really can. He can turn on a 10-cent piece. He can host something and be very, very funny and very quick-witted, or he can read a room and just be, change his tone and be completely appropriate and sincere and he gets the tone right. That's what I'm trying to say. He's just a very, very intuitive, clever performer who understands the tone and moods of rooms and of his audience and responds appropriately.
Thank you. Sit down. Oh, you have. Do the music again. See if they stand up. No, thank you. What a huge honour. Look, I know it's very, very late. I will try and be brief. Huge honour. I mean, first Gold Logie in 5 years to not be decided by Tom Gleeson. So that is massive.
Ah, he's such a star. Let's talk frocks and shocks. Pop your fashion police hat on if you don't mind, Fiona. Who got fined, who walked away with a warning, and who got a clean bill?
Well, what I will say is everybody always tries their best.
Very diplomatic. I like it.
I would like to be diplomatic to start with. Look, a couple of things. I do think that there's always a few show gowns that appear on the red carpet, and this year that had to be April Rose Pengilly. She was one of the first people to arrive on the red carpet. She's one of the actresses who was part of Neighbours up until last Friday, and she looked wonderful. She was wearing a beaded bodice with this extraordinary feathered skirt and train. It was absolutely enormous. It was 10 metres long or something along those lines.
That would have weighed a tonne.
It was just something else, Jade.
It was
honestly.
very Met Gala-ish, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and it was so big she had to come in her own car. So usually when talent is coming down to the start of a red carpet, there's 2 or 3 people popped into each vehicle because it's just, it just makes it much easier and much more efficient to get people to a carpet. Well, no one else could fit in the back of the car with her, and she was telling me that she had to have her own car to get there. I completely believe that. She walked the red carpet. She walked the red carpet early to make sure that she had done all the fashion shows before the actual major red carpet got underway, and then they had to vacuum the red carpet in her wake because the feathers had been shed as she walked along the carpet.
Oh, no.
So
how high maintenance?
It was so high maintenance, but also it was a little bit like Hansel and Gretel. It was like a trail of, in this case, obviously not breadcrumbs, but in this case it was a trail of feathers had been left, so you knew exactly where she'd been by following the trail of feathers. It made me laugh. She got inside and she actually changed into a different dress. So. Because even she acknowledged that there was no way she was going to be able to sit in the room at a dinner table for 3 or 4 hours in that particular frock. So that's what I mean by a show dress. She wins the award for the show dress of the evening. I thought Anna Heinrich, she's on SAS Australia. She looked lovely. She was wearing a very elegant pink gown. And the other person who I thought really stood out and gets a big kick from me was Sylvia Jeffries, who was in a very simple black gown with just some silver beading around the bust line that looked fabulous. People who were perhaps a little more bold, Maria Fatil, she's a former Miss Universe Australia. She wore something that appeared to be very inspired by the Kim Kardashian 2021 Met dress.
She looked nude with a little bit of glitter.
Yes, nude. She was going for a nude look, a wet nude look. It was a controversial dress. It certainly got big ticks from some people, and a few other people felt that it was a little too close in reference to that Kim Kardashian Met Gala gown. Someone else who really did get a lot of talkability on the red carpet was Christian Wilkins. He's the son of Richard Wilkins from Channel 9. He wore a dress by Nicole and Ford. It was a sheer backless gown. Actually, I must say Christian looked fantastic, but again, a bold choice for the Logies, and certainly made all the dress, all the fashion lists. And another person who I thought was very interesting was Anthony Collier, who I thought looked absolutely fabulous. He wore a white suit with a cape attached across the shoulders. And let me just tell you, in a room full of gentlemen wearing very traditional black ties, when Anthony wandered in this fabulous white outfit with his flowing cape behind him, it was a moment.
Well, that's what fashion is about, isn't it? Being a moment, and he likes to have a bit of fun, so good on him. Thank you so much, Fiona.
My absolute pleasure. It was a great night, Jade, and it was a lovely night to see the whole industry, all the networks come together and put all the, there's always competition in TV, but it was all popped on the shelf last night for people to really celebrate a terrific industry.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you very much. That is Fiona Byrne there, Sunday Herald Sun. And you can jump onto the Herald Sun website and have a look at all the pictures and comments and Fiona's story as well. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Adelaide's 5AA.
1 in 4 Australian women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Staying is dangerous, but leaving can mean homelessness for them and their children. With your generosity, the Salvos can provide crisis services and ongoing support, helping women find a way out of violence and a way back into a safe and stable life. Please donate to the Red Shield Appeal at salvationarmy.org.au to help the Salvos leave no one in need.
The best way to see SA is through the dusty windscreen of your four-wheel drive, but if you want to get there, you want to be TJM equipped. TJM has kept South Australian wheels turning off-road since 1990. There isn't an accessory they haven't thought of for safety, comfort and enjoyment, with bull bars, suspension, snorkels, camping gear, roof racks, driving lights and more. Get into TJM before you get out in Nailsworth and Clovelly Park, tjmsa.com.au.
Sadly, insolvency is all too common these days, but there is another way. Through the new Small Business Restructure Initiative, Oracle Insolvency Services has helped people to keep control of their business, restructure their finances, and avoid insolvency for a stress-free future. If, like many South Aussies, you're worried about your financial future, call Oracle Insolvency Services on 1300 391 330. Oracle Insolvency Services, working to solve insolvency.
Everybody loves their country.
I'm Anthony Fay from Rowey Real Estate. During open inspections, modern window furnishings done well really get the offers rolling in. They bring a look of quiet luxury to a home. Smart home improvements add value. Stunning curtains and shears are a feature that really makes a difference.
Improve, invest and add value with beautiful curtains and shears to match by country. Visit countryblinds.com.au for a free measure and quote.
Everybody loves their country.
At The Advertiser, we're for giving you great value. Get digital access to our news, including sports and entertainment, for just $3.50 a week for the first 12 weeks. Min costs $14. Conditions apply. Search The Advertiser offer today.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
$13.95. Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
A question for those looking to buy a house. Are you struggling to save a deposit? Would you like to see stamp duty abolished? Of course you would. We all would. What if SA followed New South Wales and gave home buyers the choice? Do you pay stamp duty or an annual land tax? What would you prefer? And should we do it here in SA to give you a choice? Would it mean more home ownership, Would it mean it comes faster to you? Well, let's chat now with Brendan Coates. He's from the Economic Policy Program Director there at Grattan Institute and joins us now. Brendan, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, is there any strings attached to this idea? I mean, it seems pretty good on the surface.
Yeah, so the idea is to allow people to have a choice. It solves a couple of the big problems. Just to back up a little bit, most economists would say that getting rid of stamp duty and replacing it with land tax is a good idea because there's the housing affordability benefit, which is to say it does get people into the market potentially faster. But also because stamp duty is just a really inefficient tax that basically stops people from moving either to take a new job or to change up, to upgrade their house or downsize their house as their needs change or they have kids and then downsize later on. And so it is really costly, whereas land taxes are just about the most efficient taxes there are. Now, the issue has always been that in switching from stamp duty to land tax, it's always been about the transition. And the New South Wales government's proposal, which is to allow people to opt in, solves a lot of those issues because it allows people to choose, which means that those that previously paid stamp duty and recently paid stamp duty don't get hit again with the land tax, which is one of the challenges in the transition. The issue is that there's a big revenue shortfall for the state government, a state government that takes this approach, that adopts this model, because you've got to keep your schools open and your hospitals running.
Yeah.
But you give up the stamp duty up front, which, for a $1 million property is about 50 grand, 40 to 50 grand. For a smaller property, it's less. And in exchange, people are paying a land tax every year, but they're only paying, say, $1,000 a year, for example, or $1,500 a year. And that's a lot less than 40 or 50 grand. And so there's that revenue shortfall that someone has to fill the hole of. And it's hard to see it happening unless the federal government helps the state government fill the hole, which is what New South Wales is angling for.
Well, that's exactly right, because the state government's going to want to find, their loss somewhere, so they'll tax us somewhere else. But why don't they just look at lowering the rate?
Because stamp duty is, in most states, either the largest or the second largest revenue source for the state government after payroll tax. And so, if you just lowered the rate and didn't replace it with anything, then you'd probably find your schools wouldn't stay open and your hospitals won't keep running. That's where the revenue comes from that allows us to run the public services that, people in SA rely on, whether it be schools, hospitals or the police. So you have to replace it with something. You need an alternative revenue source. And land tax tends to be the best one because it is the most efficient tax that we have. It's also a tax that's likely to grow over time, if land values rise, sort of provide the revenue source that we need. And in a world of multinational tax avoidance, the one thing you can't avoid is paying tax on the land because the state knows exactly where it is, so it doesn't move.
Brendan, thank you very much for your insight there. That is Brendan Coates, Economic Policy Program Director at the Grattan Institute. Rowey Sports Show is coming up after 4 o'clock. We're going to head into the newsroom now. Thanks so much for being part of the show. I look forward to chatting with you all again tomorrow. Have a great evening.
This end of financial year, eBay is bringing excitement back with all the best deals in one place. We're talking millions of items on sale. Visit ebay.com.au to shop eBay's end of financial year sale today.
Hi, Susanna Toop here, 21.